I love the damn cast. Foo Fighters especially came clutch on multiple occasions. Rest in peace. But Jolyne Joestar is my favorite Joestar. Weather Report too. He's an honorary Joestar. But Jolyne Joestar, the best damn Joestar, period. I don't give a fuck. And yes, she's got us here, even if she got shit. Ignore that. Let me get something straight. I fuck with Jolene? Yes, you heard me. And not only is that my waifu, I had to do a tier list Jolene be right at the top. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. She just destroys every other member of her family. She's innovative, and she's quick on her toes despite getting shit on constantly from Pookie and majority of my cast, actually, and most of the antagonists. Anyway, hi, it's DoctorDead, your favorite madman anime enthusiast. I just finished Stone Ocean Made in Heaven some time ago. It just took me a minute to kind of really sit down and figure out what exactly I wanted, discuss as far as this. A couple things that I wanted to discuss actually here. One is, what was the purpose of Jotaro really being in this, and did I enjoy it? Two, Jolene's destiny and why she got locked up in the first place. Pookie and his session with Dio, and most importantly his sons. And also why I consider Jolene top one, and did I enjoy the end? So firstly, why was Jotaro there? Like, what was his whole purpose? And so right now I understand this was clearly a setup by Jolene's lawyer, who was clearly working with Pookie and arranged her lockup purely due to Pookie's obsession with Dio. Jotaro spent a lot. He spent a lot of time trying to find Jotaro, as well as Dio's overall message. Made in Heaven is something that Pookie was extremely obsessed about throughout the entire series. Now, I won't lie, the first 13 episodes was a little bit of a struggle, like most JoJo parts, but once we got to, Food Fighter, Weather Report, a lot of the cooler characters in the series started to be, the story kind of come along a lot more smoothly, as well as the plot. And again, I will discuss more in detail, like Foo Fighter and Weather Report, just a little bit. Once Jotaro's memory was obtained, that's all he needed, and Pookie pretty much underestimated the Joestar bloodline in the family. Particularly Jolene, I don't think I've seen another Joestar get, I wouldn't say humiliated, but disrespected relentlessly. Honestly, the entire Joestar bloodline, they're just all badass when pushed. As long as they're pushed to the brink, they can pretty much do anything they possibly can and look good while they're doing it. Araki clearly expanded too well on this in a previous installment, so he tried to do something a little different as far as having Jolene start the storyline in prison. We went to Italy, Japan, Mariah, Egypt, and so many other places the Joestar family went to stop either incredible evils or sacrifice their life or their livelihood. We're talking even Jotaro, he was so obsessed with stopping Dio and any other remnant that he basically lost his daughter and his marriage. That's the Joestar family curse. They can't have, do, or become anything, even be happy, at least while they're living. That's just the Joestar family cursing. And I get it, for Araki, it probably becomes very tiresome to reinvent yourself all the time. All right, now to the next thing we're going to talk about is Pookie and his obsession with Dio, right? Now, Pookie's obsession with Dio and the Joestars was honestly his awakening, yet his downfall at the same time. Completely lowballing Jolene on multiple occasions, like he did with Sea Moon, as well as, she used the Mobius strip. Jolene can't possibly, use the mind for herself, and she's obviously clearly manipulated. And it's as if his blinded love, or her blinded love for her ex and anyone else in her family just made her some love-drawn fool that can't use her brain. From that point, he just kind of sets himself up to lose. Like, there's no way in hell he was going to survive at that point. You're underestimating the main character. Like, that's already a red flag. It's just, to me, it's the equivalent of Doflamingo. Luffy's weak, and then he gets his ass beat. So I've seen so many wild JoJo references and occurrences to these solutions, but the Mobius strip situation, literally, yeah, it just takes the cake there to me. That's something that I would expect my brother or physicists or chemists to kind of figure out. It's not something the general person would figure out. So, multitude of Dio's children, honestly, just, I was gonna shit talk them as far as just looks, but, just forget that. Honestly, it's more so they were given the most OP abilities I've seen, even for general villains, and they still got stomped. But Bohemian Rhapsody, yes, of the band, is still one of my favorite abilities they've shown. Since I'm horrible at, naming names for majority of the cast. Like, well, who are these mothers? Well, no one really cares. So when you go to the family tree, it's like, okay, well, who in the family is who? Which relatives are family? Now, there's the alternate timeline shit, which I'm not even ready to discuss. So that in itself, we're not even going to go into detail about. Going to specifics about that shit, it's way too much. But we'll just follow the general timeline outside of Giorno, Rikiel, and Ongala. Donatello versus as well, which honestly, he has like the coolest name, but all of the damn kids, they all seemed either one, overly obsessed with power, or two, too focused on their weaknesses and their ego. So like I said, the only one I really liked was Bohemian Rhapsody as far as an ability, but for the most part, all of Dio's kids are kind of brats.
まぶたがストーンと急に落ちてきちまった人間のよ。かわいそうとか知らんぷりしてこうって俺には。
And honestly, Pookie is also one of the worst siblings you possibly have, which I'll actually dive into in a few. His memories of Dio especially, they kind of, a little sus. One thing Pookie's truly fond of is his memories of Dio. Like, that's all Pookie seems to really care about nor talk about is all his memories and all their conversations. All right, now I love the cast, especially Foo Fighter. Foo Fighter came in much again many times. That's before. Rest in peace. And Weather Report needs more scenes. I love Weather Report. Bring him, bro. And again, Jolene is just my favorite. But there's something very special about it. No, not that. But despite her ex-lawyer and Pookie trying to destroy her life, shoot, even ignore the whole curse of the Joestar bloodline, she was more focused on her father being safe more than anything else. Not only that, it's Pookie stands in conjunction with this, so his arrogance also evolves to stand in different ways due to extreme circumstances. The whole concept made in heaven. So we got Pookie's original ability, which was White Snake, and of course Gravity Shift, also known as the Sea Moon. And then we pretty much have Made in Heaven, which for me one of the most coolest evolutions in the series. I actually liked it. It's kind of like a play because you've seen all the other Joestars, especially since part 3. It's always time abilities, time accelerations, time stopping, time looping. The villain basically getting the power up instead of the actual protagonist was nice here. But he went from memory manipulation to gravity inverse abilities to time acceleration. Like, honestly, what else can Araki do here? I did enjoy the ending, but nothing like seeing the Joestar family win even in death. That's the the beauty of this. Emporio at the end comes clutch. My only issue is the creation of this universe and how it affects the Joestars towards the ending. And for the first time in years, I'll be going into honestly unfamiliar territory as far as where the story is headed. So what do you think? Are you actually gonna watch? If you're not watching this, you need to read the manga. Go on Netflix and watch it because it's on there right now.